But what I do know from history is we've lived without Canada Post. And e-commerce still grows and still continues, and customers still get what they need every single day.
How long are they going to keep on funding this corp that's just keep on losing money? There's only a limit. Everybody has a limit.
Saturday, Sunday. You have to deliver packages Saturday, Sunday. E-commerce is 7 days a week, 52 weeks of the year. Hi everyone, Chris Jarvis, Ecom Logistics, here to bring you a conversation between myself and Luqman on the Canada Post situation, what you can expect and how you can avoid disruptions to your business. We know businesses thrive on certainty and predictability, and today's environment is anything but certain. The pressure continues to build. Canada Post is back to work. However, with a ban on overtime across the nation and volumes down significantly from last year. In fact, as of last week, over 50%. Highlighting the need for the corporation to find a long-term sustainable solution, a transformation into 7-day-a-week parcel delivery. And we wish them well on that. We'd love to hear your comments. Please enjoy the episode.
What do you think, what will it take for Canada Post to resolve this?
This is, you're kind of a last ditch Hail Mary. It's time to innovate. It's time to shake it up. I mean, it sounds like they're talking about all the right ingredients. They're not being well received by the union, but Saturday, Sunday, you have to deliver packages Saturday, Sunday. E-commerce is 7 days a week, 52 weeks of the year. You need to start thinking about where do we get economies of scale and efficiencies, the density required versus where we don't have densities, and should we slow down the service in those areas? Should we have community mailboxes? Should we ask consumers and Canadians to take a walk and go outside of their house to get their mail, to get their packages in certain areas? I don't know what's too much. I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah.
But I do know, as a logistician who works in the shipping business, everywhere, every day, all the time is an expensive network to maintain.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I think you bring up a good point on the community mailboxes. There hasn't been any innovation happened on that side, in my personal opinion. I think that started about 15 to 20 years ago, as compared to any other carriers. They have, for example, Amazon, UPS, FedEx. They have installed digital mailboxes in all the condo buildings. Why can't Canada Post think of a similar idea? I mean, they have the real estate, they have the infrastructure. It's just the upgrading that infrastructure that can reduce their costs significantly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have all the right assets. Obviously, they have the big network. It's about people. It's about people that power this network. It's about the willingness to create a new business model. And obviously, some pretty big challenges when you talk about the size of their labor pool and the amount of change that's required to be as nimble and flexible as we are, for example.
Yeah.
And our competitors. I mean, we move at the speed of business, and we move at the speed of our merchants and their consumers. So we're pretty fast and nimble. They're a big ship, and it'll take time.
I think Canada Post by itself is just ginormous infrastructure that requires quite a bit of revenue to support that. And I think what we clearly see is they lost a significant volume. I mean, I don't know, what do you think, how they're going to recover from this?
It's hard to see how they'll recover. I mean, the gap's pretty wide. But what I do know from history is we've lived without Canada Post. And e-commerce still grows and still continues, and customers still get what they need every single day. So I think part of it is recognizing that diversification is happening. There are alternative networks in the market that are alive and well and growing, quite frankly. I think at this moment, with the strike event, I think it just threatens them more and puts more risk and uncertainty as to where Canada Post will be longer term.
I think the small parcel volume will definitely be on the table to reconsider for them to, do they really want to continue that? Because that requires a different type of capacity, infrastructure, from warehousing to middle mile to last mile versus just dumping few mail in a community mailbox. I think Government of Canada has also realized, like, how long are they going to keep on funding this corp that's just keep on losing money. There's only a limit. Everybody has a limit. So
Absolutely. I mean, I think from our experience as well in the business we have at Ecom, right? It's an order to door seamless experience that we're creating, and I think one of the missing pieces for Canada Post and even traditional 3PLs, right? Like, we're winning because it is seamless. It's click to deliver. And when you just do one side of that equation, you're not getting the full Amazon-like experience that the market so much demand for, quite frankly. So there is a place for everyone. Everyone has their place. I think letter mail and parcel are two different things with two different assets. Those assets, to move small parcel, cost a lot of money, and they have to run a certain volume through them. I think the other side is you don't do fulfillment. And so you don't truly ever get the speed. I think it brings me back to your story and how you created Ecom, quite honestly. I want to be the fastest Ecom delivery service provider. Well, if you just drive the truck, you can't have that happen. You have to do fulfillment as well. And so there's why we exist, right? Is because the order comes in, we pick, pack, and ship all within that direct network at speed. That's becoming more and more apparently the secret to our success. And I think one of those Achilles heel or limiting factors, if you're Canada Post, is you're not in that position to take on that role.
Yeah, I think totally agree. I think at the end of the day, this is where the industry is heading.
Yeah.
You see a lot of delivery / 3PL companies now offering same day delivery. Amazon has set up a new standard by itself. You can order a same day delivery, same day within 4 hours window. So I think everybody's sort of playing a following game to Amazon.
Yep.
Just delivery by itself, it will still be a business, but if you can offer something unique in the market, then you position yourself completely different and bring a lot more value on the table.
That's right. And I mean, who knows what the future holds? But we know merchants are diversifying. They're using multiple relationships to get the job done, to create that Amazon-like experience. Ecom is offering it to the market along with some others. And I think more and more our growth and our longevity is proving that this is clearly where the market is going to go.
In a case that Canada Post decides to shut down small parcel volume, which they ship about 1 million packages a day.
Yeah, it's a lot of volume.
That's a lot of volume. I don't think, again, even the top 4 companies, if they want to handle that, they can handle that kind of volume.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the regional carriers come into play. Of course, everybody will get extra volume. They will all be happy.
Yeah.
But I think from the cost perspective to a small merchant, this will be a big hit.
Yeah, it'll be a big hit. And to your point, and I hate to keep bringing up, our business when we're talking about what other people are doing and trying to share knowledge, but we grew from a regional carrier position to hitting over 85% of the Canadian population in a 1 to 3 day because Canada Post went on strike the first time.
That's correct.
And we helped the major carriers support them with the excess volume they had. And so now we sit here in an even more stronger position, launching Ecom standard service in Ontario and Quebec, getting us to same day and some pretty large portions of the population. I think if we're doing that, I think others are also doing that. And I think this time around, my point is that everyone through all these disruptions and changings is also getting stronger. And so Canada Post, to get back where it needs to be, also faces those headwinds now. So the longer this continues to move forward, the more disruption that gets put in place, the more the open and free market starts to capitalize on what is clearly an opportunity. Because there is 1 million packages that get delivered. Someone's going to pick those up.
I think you're absolutely right. And it will take some time for Canada Post to gain this volume back. It happened first time 4 months ago. People let it go. Customers let it go. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen again. I think you only get one lifeline, in my opinion.
Right? To do this, right?
So, I mean, they will always have some sort of volume, even if they decided to stay with small parcel game, which, again, going back to rural areas, small margin, nobody wants to deliver. If they want to deliver, sure. I think that's where they have lost a significant of their volume. Yeah. In my opinion, all the urban areas been taken over by regional carriers like Ecom and a few others that are out there. offering very competitive pricing, and all the rural areas where nobody wants to deliver, Canada Post is delivering there, and that's where they, I think, lose quite a bit of money.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, these networks continue to evolve. Ours continues to get stronger, as I just talked about. I think as we think about this strike and persisting things, unfortunately, more and more of this falls on the merchant, and you know, having to have more relationships, rural relationships, urban relationships. We're working with merchants on a daily basis to piece together what is the right network for you and your customers, where you need to ship, what are your current rates. And so I think that becomes more of a challenge as we go forward. And obviously, at the same time, other players in the industry continue to fill in gaps. And for us, like, we have a lot of partnerships now that we didn't have a year ago, and those partnerships are helping us extend our network. And I think others are doing that same type of thing.
Yeah, well, I hope there is some sort of resolution to this Canada Post. We all want Canada Post. It has been around forever. It adds a lot of value. A lot of places that an average or a regional carrier cannot access. So they have been, done some amazing work. We hope that there is some sort of resolution to this, and we're back to normal, especially the small merchant. I think they are the heart of the Canadian economy. We want to make sure that they are healthy in a good position, especially after this tariff.
Absolutely. Shipping's not free, as we've all learned. Right. Moving boxes can be simple, it can be complex. It's definitely not free. E-commerce requires it. We're endeavoring to make it low cost, predictable, and highly efficient as we go forward. But the ongoing saga around Canada Post, we'll see it play out in just under a couple days. And look forward to hearing your comments. Share them with us. How many partnerships do you take to do shipping throughout Canada? What have you seen over the last year and changes in the environment for shipping and e-commerce and fulfillment? Is it true? Or do you need to do fulfillment and delivery to make a unified experience for the future? Thanks for joining us. Look forward to hearing your comments. Catch up with you soon.